1st of April 25, and I'm just looking at this because I agree with Tail Vince in mostly everything, probably apart from the way Britain's demographics changing, but everything else. So, I mean, any time he talks about the energy around, personally, I would just do what he says. And I don't consider myself a green fanatic. I think I want people to have cars. I want a car, electric car. I want to travel a bit by car. I don't want to use public transport. All that. But I mean, he's even getting I think he's getting is it an electric plane? He's going to have this year or something for consumers, customers, and it's only going to be able to do about 200, 300 miles or something. But a lot of people just fly Glasgow to London or whatever. So long, medium term, that's going to be very useful. I don't know if it's all electric or it's just net zero or whatever, but yeah, I just listen to him on anything on this. Apart from, like I say, one issue on the demographic change, really. Because I think there's a chance that we're heading for anarchy, basically. So, that's my concern. So, uh, yeah, he's saying that Labour will lose the next election if they don't get bills down. And he makes this interesting point. I don't think he makes it big enough, the point. Or the people who worry about that don't make the point big enough to ordinary viewers. Like, uh, apparently the way the system's set up, the prices are set up, our green energy is linked, green electricity energy is linked to the price of gas for some reason. And for the last 5 years or something, price has been very high. I don't know what the reason for that was for it. Maybe it's to stop the fluctuation of the international thingy. But I think he also says we should not bother with the international market. We should just set our own prices if we've got enough to ourselves. I don't know. I'm getting a bit confused, but you know what I mean. But onto this thing that apparently the price of electricity is linked to gas, and gas is high at the moment, so electricity is even higher because electricity is more expensive, I think. But he's saying they should break the link, and then electricity prices will completely drop, probably. And that's just a natural way, because at the moment, what the government do is they give everyone a big subsidy when prices go really high. So the government are bailing out the energy suppliers, but they're making a fortune because you've got the ones that are generating the energy and you've got the ones that are selling it to the public. Ones that are generating the wholesalers and the ones giving it to the public. The ones giving it to the public are hardly making any money at all because, like, Theresa May made it, they can only make about 5% profit or something. So they're hardly making anything at all. I think the wholesalers are making a lot, but the ones generating are making it the most, or something like that. They're making a whole lot of money. And what the government do at the moment is they'll pay part of your bill, so that's going to them rather. And I think even the green companies do well out of this sort of, well, you could call it a scam really. Although he doesn't like it, so he's saying break it. So yeah, you've got to. And I've heard the SNP talk about this, but they've got a big sort of study going on at the moment. I don't know why it's taken so long. You would think it's something that a minister could go in the first day and just break the link, between price of gas and electricity. Unless there's some other reason for it, but I trust Dale on all these issues, so, and he's saying Labour will lose the next general election if they do not lower Britain's energy bills. Because really our bills are artificially high, I think, because we're almost self-dependent. If you add the green fuel and fossil fuel, well, I don't know about fossil fuel now because we sort of started buying, but in Scotland, I think our electricity is 100% green. So that's our electricity. Not everything else. We still mostly use gas to heat our houses and stuff. I don't know what amount electricity is of the actual energy we use, if you include cars, fuel, petrol and that. Maybe 25%, 20%. Most of it's probably gas for heating. and then you've got your cars as well, fossil fuels for cars. Um, but yeah, it just seems daft that they've got this sort of artificial link and nobody's doing anything about it. Mainstream journalists never ask the energy ministers about it. You know, it should be the first question in everybody's mind. And if there's a reason to not do it, then fair enough. But nobody's saying anything, you know. It doesn't seem to have passed the energy minister's thought, you know, at least to mention it to the public. So he's saying that Labour will lose the next election because Britain's energy bills. I mean, the energy bills are a big part of your thing now, you know. I don't know how much it used to be, say 5-10%. It must be about 20% now, for the poor especially. 20, 25. Well, maybe 20, because you've got rent or whatever, mortgage. Yeah, but I think Labour will lose it anyway to the reform. Anyway, I think Labour are finished, actually, so it doesn't really matter. But on this issue, so he's saying that people would vote Tory because of that, but I don't think they're going to vote Tory or Labour, really, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see what it's saying here. Can't hear it.
No text. 6:35. Tap to stop.
I'll try again.
No text found at that location.
Alright, it's not working on this. Yeah, it's saying he's one of our biggest donors. He gave 5 million to Labour at last. Yeah, and he's in a do or die moment. Break the link between green energy costs and fossil fuels. And he also said yesterday in a tweet, I think it was Richard Tice was going on about how the green energy gets lots of subsidies and all that. But he said ecotricity never got any, and it's a myth. So that's fair enough to me if he says that, you know. So this is how you can be totally misled by our leaders, basically, our political leaders. I mean, why is this a myth that's still alive if it's not true? And what's the truth about it, you know? Until the Greens tell us about this myth, and everybody understands, and they tell everyone, we need to break this link, and everybody understands. Until mainstream journalists are constantly asking for it, because they haven't a clue, basically, I don't think. Until those two things, we're not really getting anywhere with this, you know.
No text found at that location.
There's no text there. The Tories in reform would ditch a 2050 target to ensure the total amount of greenhouse gas emissions produced are equal to the emissions removed from the atmosphere. See, I think this is a sort of red herring, this, because we should be going for clean energy, green energy, clean energy. It's win-win energy. You can even make money from it, or you get your own solar panels or whatever. I mean, I think what we're going to go to is solar panels and batteries to store the energy, basically. Maybe some people have a bit of wind power as well, maybe other little ways, but mainly solar power and batteries. So I would pitch it that way rather than with a stick saying we've got to climate change, we've got to do that, because people don't really understand it and we're not really scared at the moment, so maybe wrongly, you know. But if they haven't brought bills down by reforming the energy market, then I think people may judge Nigel and Kemmy more seriously and say that net zero's not working. It's not bringing our bills down. We need to go back to oil and gas. That's what they'll think. They can't get bills down even if we get to 100% green on the grid unless they make some market reforms like breaking the link. And this is his link I'm talking about, that the electricity price is set connected to the gas price. You've got to break that link. I think that's the one thing a minister should do day one, as soon as they go in, you know. But why they don't, I don't know. And including Scotland, you'd think SNP would have been on to this, because they're usually quick with these things. Not always though. We saw with the dog ban, you know, we were the last and somebody get bit in Hamilton or something like that by one of those dogs, XL Bully or something. So the green energy boss is working on a report which proposes a change that will help the government. So is he actually working with the government on some sort of study or something? I don't know. A report. I'm hopeful because Labour have been so bold with the NHS and some other things recently. Well, that's welfare, disability benefits. And they're going to uphold that report and say, look, it's kind of do or die moment, really. I think they might do it, you know. I think in the moment Keir wants to distance himself, Dale, because he was involved with Just Stop Oil. He used to fund Just Stop Oil, who apparently have abandoned over the last week or something. Apparently they feel their mission was achieved or something, I don't know. The switch to renewable energy will lower bills by reducing Britain's reliance on volatile international gas prices, which currently dictate the cost of energy across the country. But the price of energy has risen twice for households since last summer. I know it's rising again today, probably. I don't know about that. I would have rather had a free market as well, because I used to be able to get good prices. Now they're all the same because of the cap, you know, but I don't know. Maybe it's better with a cap, I don't know. And he's saying that they're talking up concrete for Heathrow. He says that's bad. Anyway, I want to get back to this energy thing. Growth is the right thing, but there's no point in having any old growth or an illusion of growth, which is what a runway at Heathrow is. Blah, blah, blah. And also he's saying that people living near airports should get some sort of fee, you know, for living close to, for putting up with all the pollution, especially noise pollution, I would think, in my opinion. But they also don't get the fossil fuel pollution, because they're going to do it for pylons, apparently, pylons, which I agree with. If you live something next to that, you know, it's taking your house price down for a start. So, yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think they do that in France quite a lot. Yeah, Mr Vince, who was the party's biggest corporate donor at the last election, suggested he would continue giving money to Labour because the alternative was unthinkable. I would have thought he would have went to the Greens, but I guess he still feels that only Labour, Tory or Reform can get in, so out of that, he's going with the Labour. I would have thought he would have been a Green, really. Uh, yeah, so he wants to keep Reform or Labour out, especially Reform, and that's an unthinkable thing as an environmentalist and someone that cares about social justice. I mean, I'm voting Reform on one issue, so I don't agree with him. I'm not interested in all the other things, but and he was going to become an MP. I think he'd be a great MP, but he would actually be a good minister, even a prime minister. But I don't blame him for not wanting to be an MP because he can hardly do anything as an MP, really. He'd probably be better with a YouTube channel. That's what George Galloway is doing, really, you know. Although he still wants to be an MP occasionally. I think he's sort of given up now, but not because he can't win, because he doesn't want to anymore. But and he's urged the government to scrap plans to make welfare cuts and replace them with a wealth tax. Yes, that's another thing. I totally agree with him. He wants Labour to impose a 2% tax on people with wealth of 10 million or more instead. There is no shortage of money here. We just need a fairer approach to tax. Take more from the few, not from the many. So that was really interesting. I thought, yeah. Anything he says is worth listening, except on one subject, I suppose. But yeah, so there you go.